I am so glad you are here. It is Wednesday, so it is time for It Is Alive. Yep, It Is Alive is what we're doing today. It should be a fun one. I have so much to share with you guys. I'm so looking forward to today. And now that we've added our Instagram folks back in, got your comments up. Thank you for submitting them. And let's just start with come in and grab a reading if you'd like from one of our readers. This is a great time of year, December and January, to come in and get a forecast for the year ahead for 2026. But it's also great to get a general reading at this time of year, as well as if you've got something specific you'd like help with, come on in and grab a reading. So our reader's scheduled, just so I've done it. Today is Wednesday. She will be with us all day from noon to 6. Thursday, December 25th, we will be closed. No readers that day. I'm very sorry. Good day to do a reading for yourself if you got a tool for that. And trust me, you do. We'll maybe talk about that later. On Friday, Daryl will be here probably all day as Ravenwolf is on vacation for the next week and a half. So he is leaving town that day and will not be doing readings. On Saturday, Eshu will be doing tarot and palm readings from noon until 3, followed by Margaret doing tarot readings. Sunday, Eshu will be back again from noon to 6. On Monday, we'll have Daryl from noon to 2 and Morpheus doing dream interpretation from 2 to 6. Now, Daryl, I should say, does an oracle card reading with the deck he designed himself. It is amazing, and it's he's brilliant at reading, but the deck is so cool. I know he's planning a Kickstarter to get that deck printed in quantity so that you guys can grab it if you need it as well. On Tuesday, we'll have Daryl probably all day subbing in. Eshu might pick up that first 3 hours. We'll see. Wednesday, Eshu will be back with us all day again. And that takes us full cycle. So what are we drinking today? I did not take the time to make tea. I've been very bad this week. So I have water. But I actually secretly like it as someone who works so much with herbs and with people who need help with herbs that I secretly like it when you skip your herbs once a month or so. It gives the body a chance to kind of reset, panic a little bit that it's not getting that resource, and it can make the resources a little more effective in the long run. There are also people who like that with vitamins. Take a weekend off. It's not going to really hurt you. And it gives your body a chance to kind of reorient itself back to, do I need that or not? It's kind of a useful tool. So that's the readers. That's what am I drinking? What am I wearing? Well, I've got some jewelry on today. Some is from one of our bigger consignment people, and some are Tracy's treasures. So I've got a lovely faceted amethyst here, and I've got a faceted kyanite here. This one, of course, it's from my second wedding with my husband. Never got divorced, just chose to get married a second time for fun, a recommitment ceremony, if you will. Then I've got this lovely piece and this one over here, the little lotus symbol, and of course my original engagement and wedding rings. Yay. And a scarf from Jerry's Imports as well. This one's so cute. It's full of butterflies. I just did a little tie with it just for fun, just to do something different with it today. I have some stuff for you that I have been seeing our customers really, really looking for and coming in and buying. Sometimes as stocking stuffers or little add-ons for kids, sometimes as the main gift for somebody. But I thought I'd start with the little guys. So we've got these little, we call them stuffies, stuffed animal type things. They're quite firm. They're not squishy. They're stuffed with something that's, something along the lines of sand. But we've got little snakes, we've got tiny elephants, we've got all kinds of geckos and iguanas, all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm seeing a lot of people picking those up. Probably, I'm guessing, mostly for kids, but hey, everybody needs toys and fun stuff. The other one that's been really popular have been these little guys. They all have something about them that wiggles. I'm trying to figure out how to pick this one up so you can see it and still see the wigglies. It's a little penguin. And I still have like a medium-sized bin of these from Jerry, same lady who brings us the scarves. And I just randomly put my hand into the back of the bin and grab replacements, so I never know what I'm bringing up. And sometimes, therefore, we will get a run on penguins. Or right now, I have a couple, at least 2, if not 3, of these little fishies for some reason. So someone in the universe must want them. They are fun. They're an easy little extra grab, little add-on. Some of the other pieces that people have been gravitating toward are these lovely dream pillows. Now, the pillows are fun. These, by the way, are all brought in and or made by local folks. These dream pillows have a little pocket sewn into them, and then there's a little stone in a plastic bag that they come with, but you can fill the little pocket with anything you want, and so that you can dream on it and have those energies in your sleep as well. So I like the fabrics they chose for these. I think they did a really outstanding job with them, but they are fun. Another really common one right now are these incredibly warm mittens. I know I've talked about them before, but they're so cool. They are wool, so they're super warm, but they're also lined with a fleece fabric so that even if you're allergic to wool, these are comfortable to wear and so warm. They fit me, and they fit me. So I wouldn't be looking for these for the person with the biggest hands in the world, but if their hands are like medium sized, these will go really nicely, and they've been really popular. Another one that people have been really gravitating towards are these bath sets. You're getting 3 baths, one like 2-cup jar and a couple of 1-cup jars of different signature scents that are just coming out for this season from this maker. They are delicious. They're all different. So I've seen people buy the set to give, and I also heard one person saying they're buying the set so they can cannibalize it and fill the box with some other stuff and one of the baths to give as gifts. All good options, all good options. So we've got a few of those left. And then the most popular one I'm seeing from the local makers going are these spirit balls or witch balls. They are all different intentions, I think, at this point. We used to have 2 of each intention for the most part, but they've been selling really fast because they are incredibly cool with what's in them, how they look, and the cord will actually designate what it's for. That's how the maker does it. So this one is the Dreams spirit ball. They are fun. They are incredibly good looking pieces and really taking off in popularity for gift giving season. So come grab them while you can. Of course, we've got wonderful books and all kinds of fun stuff that way too. But these are just some of the things I'm seeing people really gravitating towards during the gift giving season, maybe getting the things that they would like to get themselves that they're then sharing with other folks. So it's fun. I should also add that while we did do a large run of grab bags, we are down to the last 2 little grab bags. That's all we have left, are just 2. What kind of shampoo do witches like is on one of them. To know the answer to the riddle, you must either come in and see the back of the bag or Google it. But there have been all kinds of fun ones. And there are now 2 left for folks to come in and grab if they're ready for them. They are 11.11, and because I get asked a lot what's in them, I don't know what's in an individual bag. Even though I'm the person who put them together, I don't remember. There's generally some kind of book. There's generally some kind of incense. There might be stones. There might be a tarot deck or an oracle deck instead of a book. There might be like a 1-card reading might be in each box. In each bag, it really, really varies what goes in them. I don't think I got to the mini dream catchers as one of the possibilities, but stone points went in some of them. It varies pretty widely, to be honest. You never know what you're going to get. That's part of the fun of the grab bag. But they're usually worth 2 to 2.5 times what the price is on the outside. So sometimes they're worth more. I've got to be honest. I don't usually change what I put in the gift bag, whether it's a brand new book or a used book. The ones with brand new books are worth even more, just as a general rule. And I know some new books and some new decks went in some of the bags. I just don't know which ones. I have absolutely no idea. So come in and grab those last 2. I'm kind of assuming they're going today because it's only 2, but we'll see what happens. So that's all the stuff. Oh, I can show off. I don't know when these will go on the floor. Probably sometime next month, but we have a new shipment of earrings from Natasha's Things. These are always fun. I am assuming that there's an email that gives me the pictures so I can put them online. For those of you who can't come in to check them out, her stuff does go up online. They're always quirky. They're always fun. They're always just a laugh. She does a really good job designing what she's going to put up. This is the teacup and saucer. Some of them are even, and some of them are clearly a matched pair, but they're not the same. Like here's an even one. It's beautiful. I'm guessing, oh gosh, what are you? Could just be glass. I'm not sure in this case, but there's a couple of good possibilities in the stone world I can think of. But you never know what you're going to get when you see Natasha's things. Some of her earrings are up on our website now. These just came in, and unfortunately they came in without an appointment, so I did not set aside time to process these in, so they're going to sit for a little bit. But there's a collection about as big as the ones that I've got here on the store floor and online right now. What have I got here? It looks like I've got about 16 here. There's somewhere around 12 to 16 out on the floor right now. So really looking forward to getting these out on the floor when I can. And the themes really are fun. Like glow in the dark earrings. Anyone? Come on. They're just cute. So that stuff. What's happening? Oh, we haven't done what's happening. The readers, yes, but not what's happening. Let's talk about that. First thing I should share is that the year one of the 3-year herb program is starting up again in January. We've got people signed up. There's a little more room if you're interested. This is a class that traditionally meets one evening a week for 1 to 2 hours, depending on the subject we're covering that week. So in one of the classes in a given month, we will talk about 9 to 12 individual herbs. That's the Materia Medica class. In the diagnosis class, well, and by the way, that one's the 2 hour. That's the long one. That's the 2-hour class. In the diagnosis class, we talk about a visual form of diagnosis and the fact that you need at least 3 confirmation points from different methods to kind of feel like you're justified going out on that diagnostic limb. That we do 8 different diagnostic methods in the 9 months of the year 1 program. We spend a lot of time defining what different colors mean in the first 2 classes when we're covering facial diagnosis. So that's why there's only 8, even though it's 9 months. In remedies, in year 1, we go over lots of different kinds of remedies. We're usually talking about 2 or 3 kinds of remedies and putting something together. And those 2 classes are 1 hour each. Both diagnosis and remedies are each 1 hour in those evenings when we meet for those. And then the other class is organ systems, or the fancy name somebody gave it, which I do love, is the body and its relationship to herbs. And in this class, we're going to spend maybe 20 minutes on anatomy and physiology. We'll get into the basics of the organ we're talking about. And in year 1, it tends to be the gross organs. So the lungs, the liver, that's how I think of those. Lungs, liver, digestive system, just your basic stuff. Year 2 is endocrine, and it goes on from there. But in year 1, we're going to cover, say, the lungs, and we talk about coughs, and we differentiate how you would choose one herb over another, which means we're starting to really dive into those tissue states that we rely on in Western herbalism, as I was trained to do, between basically, is it too hot or too cold or just right? Is it too tense? Is it not tense enough to function well? Or is it just right? Is it too dry? Is it too wet? Or is it just right? And where are those places? Where are those differences happening in the body? Because if you have a fever, you're hot all over, but maybe just part of you is overactive and overheating. And we just need to look at that part of the system. And we get into that in this class, and we get into that in diagnosis. So both in the body and its relationship to herbs and diagnosis. We spend a lot of time tasting herbs. So if you are interested in taking this course by tuning in from a distance, which we absolutely do, sometimes due to weather here in this, where we're located in the winter, we might delay class by an hour. So I have time to get home, and we're going to do it all online. But we do encourage then for folks who know they're not going to be here, they're doing it from Kentucky or they're doing it from Texas, that they also, in addition to the class, purchase a little herb kit so that they can taste the herbs with us, because you learn a lot by what the herbs taste like. There was an herbalist here in Minnesota his name was Tismal Crow, and I will not get the quote right, but the gist of what he was communicating was, if you're a good herbalist, you should be able to be dropped anywhere in the world that has vegetation, and by looking, have a pretty good idea of what most of those plants do. You look, you taste, and you should be able to suss out a lot just from that. I think he was a little more harsh in how he phrased things, but but there you go. So that class is coming up, meets for 1 to 2 hours. Like there's a 2-hour class, there's an 1.5-hour class, and that's the organ systems class, and remedies and diagnosis are each an hour for 9 months. There's a lot of things involved, so I don't recommend stepping in after the program starts. I do recommend starting from the very beginning, but we've got folks signed on, so I'm definitely doing it. So come on down if you're interested, get yourself signed up. It's a blast to do. Other events that are coming up in the next few weeks, this Saturday, the 27th, if you have had enough of the fam and you just need a little escape, fascinating astrology class with Adam, the astrologer. Really nice class, happens at 3 p.m. this Saturday, December 27th, 2025. The following Sunday at 10 a.m., we're doing the Intro to Gardnerianism class. That's before the store opens, so you want to get there pretty close to on time. Got a really nice crew shaping up on that one, and really looking forward to everybody else joining us as they're ready. At noon, there'll be a Reiki share on the 28th. That's the Sunday. And at 4, there's a palmistry class being taught by Eshu. He is one of our readers, so I mentioned him earlier when I went through the reader's schedule. He does palmistry and tarot here as a reader. Very good at both. Really good reading style, as well as encyclopedic knowledge of the mediums he's using, the tarot decks and the palm. So come and grab a seat for that if you're ready. Maybe I can get him to come in and do a little palmistry 5-minute talks for our Saturday divination broadcast. That would be fun. We'll see. Then what do we got next? Oh, yes. Saturday, January 3rd, 2026, coming into the new year, Alliance Coven will be meeting up at noon. This is a free class. All the other ones, except for herbalism that I've mentioned so far, are either free or by donation classes. Introduction to a Religion tends to be a free class here. That's just the people tend to want to volunteer their time for that. The astrology, the palmistry, some of the other classes coming up are by donation. So those classes, they're going to pass the hat and they get to keep a portion, and the shop gets to keep a portion to keep the lights on for everybody to have a space to meet in. And of course, we encourage you to shop here while you're here too. That also helps, of course. But noon on the 3rd, Alliance Coven, that's noon to 2. And then at 3 o'clock, we have Eshu teaching again, but not palmistry this time. He's teaching American Hoodoo and folk magic. Really good teacher on the subject, puts information together so well. And enough people have signed up that he's like, oh, I can't just wing this one. I really got to, have a plan. So it's going to be a very good class between his knowledge and just the fact that there's so many folks already coming. It's not overcrowded yet. You can definitely still sign up. You can either make the donation when you sign up, or you can make the donation when you're here. Either way works, but we absolutely love seeing you all coming in. On Sunday, the 4th of 2026 in January, we have Gateway to the Gods at noon. And I was thinking about doing babying herb, but now I'm thinking maybe Calea Zakatachichi. Why? Because we've got some Calea Zakatachichi in stock, and I'm excited for that. So, and it's a little more heavy hitting. Babying is an herb you'll often see combined with some of these other herbs. So we'll do it eventually, maybe January, maybe February. Give me a vote if you're interested in attending, what you'd like to see. At 3 o'clock on Sunday the 4th will be Chaos Magic. That is taught by Raven Wolf, a great teacher here. Should be a lot of fun. And then the following weekend on Saturday the 10th at noon, we have Alliance Coven again. And on the following Sunday, on the 11th of January at 10, again, before we open, that Intro to Gardnerianism. And later that day at 3:30, Nancy Antonucci's Tarot Lab. Always a full class, really good. And then I wanted to just mention the following weekend on Saturday the 17th, we'll have the Container Magic class that Daryl has been offering. That's at 3. And on Sunday the 18th, Reiki 1, which folks are signing up for already, so get your spot if you want to start the new year with a new you and a Reiki first initiation and class. It is always a good time. How long is the class? Depends honestly on how many people sign up. The initiations are still done traditionally one-on-one with meditation time for the people not going through the rite at that moment. So a few hours of lecture, time for each individual initiation. So I don't know. It depends on how many people are there, but figure 10 to 15 minutes per person. And then some time to practice the things we've been talking about already. So lots of fun. And of course, there will be more coming up, including a used book sale is going to be coming up near the end of January. So stay tuned. We've sorted through a whole bunch of estates that have come in the last few months and at least have a rough idea of where things are going, what we're going to be charging for things. So we'll see. But end of January, we'll be opening part of the downstairs collections that go up online, as well as having more used books up here. I'm looking forward to maybe getting a couple more bookcases in our hallway right behind me on the other side of the wall that's behind me so that we can get more used books up here for you guys. But I've also got a couple bookcases plus worth of stuff that's waiting to go up online. That's a little bit more, spendy, but still quite affordable for the most part. So, and there's some interesting pieces and there's some fun stuff in there. So that's what's happening. I think I'm going to sneeze. Give me a second here. Oh, thank you. Sneezed away. And that brings me to what I thought I'd talk about today. And I was listening to some other commentators online, and gosh, I listened to a few where like, I can't talk about that. I just think that's silly. I can't do that one. But then somebody started talking about patron deities and what that means and how that works. And I thought, wow, that's a really important and good topic, because every once in a while there's like a wave that goes through some of these communities, pagan communities, witchy communities, sometimes even ceremonialist communities, I'm noticing, and others, I have to admit, where people are starting to sort of boast about having a patron deity. They're excited to be having a patron deity of some kind. And when you talk to some of these folks, they have a patron deity. And when you talk to some of these other folks, that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about a deity they like, that they're going to return to when they feel the need, but not necessarily a patron. And the difference is interesting, I think. And I think there's a couple ways to develop a relationship with a patron deity, but I think the key word is relationship. This is a deity that you are compelled to worship. This is a deity you're compelled to develop a relationship with, that you are compelled to get to know really well. You might choose to do this because you have been getting little knocks energetically, psychically, what have you. And it's as though there is a deity that is out there that is demanding your attention. That's fantastic. They're saying, I like you. I want to work with you. That's the beginning of maybe having a patron deity, a patron god, or a patron goddess. They're not truly your patron if you're not in relationship with them, though. Again, that need, I would make it the difference between an acquaintance and a partner or a best friend. That partner or that best friend is somebody you're going to communicate with frequently and regularly because you're excited to spend time with them. You want to spend time with them. You're happy to see them. They are happy to see you. It's a fantastic relationship. Now, if we're doing that with a god or goddess, we're starting to talk about developing a patronage relationship. They're going to help you. You're going to help them by worshiping them. There is a second way. They might call you, but there is a way you can call them. So let's say you've been reading up, you've been looking at pantheons that you are interested in, and there's a particular deity that strikes you, that really kind of captures your heart and your attention. You can begin the same relationship by worshiping them, doing a rite to them, seeing if you get a response. You can try and draw down that deity, for example. uh, or let them ride you, depending on your vocabulary. I don't really care. It's the same process for all of these different traditions, really. You allow that deity to seemingly enter your entity, your spirit, your body, to work with your hands, speak through your mouth, and that will get you started on that relationship. But it takes regular contact in both cases. Whether you see them across the crowded room at the party and you think, hey, I like you, and you go over to meet them in the hopes that you get to go on lots of dates, metaphorically speaking, or whether they see you from across that crowded room at that party and they approach you. That's what's happening in both of those cases. The key isn't, did you like them at first glance? The key is, does the relationship hold up? Does the relationship last? Do you both derive benefit from the relationship? Do you perhaps set out an altar to them specifically that you go to on a regular basis and a frequent? I'm not saying daily necessarily, but daily is always what comes to my mind for this kind of working, but at least a few times a week. I mean, how often do you talk to a really, really close, good friend? It's usually more than once a week, right? How often do you speak with a partner? Usually more than once a week. So this has got to be a deity that you want to approach the altar of, that you want to approach on different levels in order to connect with them and with the energy they're providing. Now, if I'm selecting the deity for myself, I'm picking a deity who has traits, personality traits, characteristics that I aspire to, that I don't quite think I'm good at yet. Maybe I want to be more forthright. I'm not going to pick Daphne. I'm not going to pick some of the more timid deities out there. I'm not even going to pick Persephone. Might pick her mom, but I'm not going to pick Persephone, right? Too much happens to that person. If you're feeling like you need to be more self-assertive, you need to be more upfront about your personal space, your personal rights, getting respect from people, then I would pick a deity that demands respect. Because by working with them, you are working with those personality traits. You get to practice those personality traits, in fact, and that helps you put them into effect and bring them into your own life. Do you maybe light a stick of incense that is in the flavor palette that they're associated with? Maybe they're associated with citrus scents. Do you maybe take a little essential oil that's mandarin or sweet orange or lemon or lime and put that on a diffuser? Or even make incense. It's super easy to make stick incense, by the way, if you buy punk sticks. Punk sticks are just scentless sticks. They're just the charcoal and the medium, the scent will go on. You can do that with essential oils super easily and design something specific for the deity that you want to work with. You don't have to. You can just go buy an incense that you think fits. That works too. Have you gone out, if you're making an altar to them, does it have an altar cloth? Does that altar cloth fit the color scheme associated with that deity? You want to have layers of symbolism to reinforce the relationship with that deity at that point. If, on the other hand, this is just a deity that you turn to every once in a while because you're having a tough day and maybe you're not going to think about them for the next 3 months, they're an acquaintance. They're not a patron. They're not at that level for you. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's good to have acquaintances. It's good to have friends. It's good to have best friends and life partners. But those are all different kinds of relationships. What I don't want you to do, what I don't want to encourage at all, is for you to find an enemy out of a deity. Let's avoid that if we can, shall we? That's just not worth the hassle. And why practice animosity? That seems counterproductive, just generally speaking. And there's no limit in terms of creativity to how you forge that relationship. I literally have read of one coven's requirements, and this might be a defunct coven at this point, I have no idea, but their requirements included, as a pre-initiate, you would choose a deity you wanted to work with, so you would actively pick who you would like your patron deity to be, and you would research them. So you'd be presenting, either doing a presentation, or you would be writing papers for your instructors, the leaders of the coven, to demonstrate your knowledge of this deity, your research. You would also, in this particular group, begin as a first degree working with that deity on your own, individually, not as part of group work, but to have your own relationship with a deity that is separate and apart from what the coven is working on. And as a second degree, you should have worked with that deity enough that you can allow them into your body, that you can embody them, and even spend a whole day out in the regular world being that deity, which I actually don't recommend. I can't imagine some of these gods and goddesses driving a modern car. And I don't want to take the time to explain it to that deity if they're not aware. They might be, they might not be. It really depends on who you picked, what their relationship is to the outside world right now. I don't want to, there are things I wouldn't want to do. But to let them fulfill your body and get messages from them, however you do that, whether you record yourself with your phone, whether you allow them to write you messages so that you can retain that knowledge when they leave your body. Because for some people, they can't remember what happened when that deity enters their body. For some people, they can remember, but they don't feel like they have control. And for others, it feels cooperative. I'm sure it varies from person to person and deity to deity. But those two deeper forms of possession, I think they require a ritual context for your safety, for the safety of others. This shouldn't be something that you're doing willy-nilly, spur of the moment. It should be something that you contextualize. It only happens when you light a particular incense you don't encounter on a regular basis. It only happens when these types of candles in these specific candle holders get lit. It only happens because you do this particular chant. There's a variety of ways of doing this. You can invent a whole ritual around allowing you to approach that deity if it's what you need. But I do recommend that it have limits that are not entirely set by the other party, that you set some of the limits yourself. I just think it's safer. And I also think it's safer for you to have to call someone when you're done. That someone out there knows that you're going to be doing this and that you expect to be done within an hour or whatever your time limit is, and that they're waiting for a text or a call from you saying, hey, I had a great ritual. Thanks so much for being my buddy through this. Because I don't know what your psychological state is. I don't know how susceptible you are to suggestion as an individual. And I want you to be safe if you're going to do this. And I want the people around you to be safe if you're going to do this. But gods can be unpredictable. People can be unpredictable. So safety first. I am almost out of time, and since I'm doing this solo today, I'll cut it a little short so I can clean up everything here and get ready to open the shop. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and thank you for being your best magical you. We all here at the shop really value you personally, individually. And of course, we like the little magical things that you can do right here, right now, the likes, the shares, you know what they are. In the meantime, for those of you whose holidays are over, bless you. For those of you who have holidays coming, Kwanzaa, Christmas, have great ones and have a great new year. Blessed be.